Welcome everyone, join us today as we explore the incredible journey of the charismatic Alabama-born Dr. Hook frontman, Ray Sawyer, known for his distinctive eye patch and unforgettable voice. So let's dive in. Ray Sawyer, born February 1, 1937 in Chickasaw, Alabama, United States of America. Sawyer began playing guitar at age 11, drawing strong influence from Hank Williams and New Orleans blues and R&B artists like Smiley Lewis and Huey Smith. As he matured as a musician, he frequently worked in New Orleans, becoming acquainted with Mac Rebennack, aka Dr. John, and became a well-known figure in Mobile's music scene. Sawyer, who primarily played drums in his early years, recalled, "I was in a lot of bands before Dr. Hook. Mostly they didn't have names, except one called the Chocolate Papers. I played with many local black bands in Mobile, singing soul and old rock and roll. I must have played all the clubs from Houston to Charleston and back." He even recorded a couple of singles on Mobile's Sandy Records, receiving a solitary fan letter for his first release, Bells in My Heart. After leaving the trio group Chocolate Papers in 1967, Sawyer felt he was going insane from too much beans and music, and decided to pursue a career as a tree logger. He headed to Portland, Oregon, equipped with a plaid shirt, cork boots, and a pike pole. However, his car slipped on the road, leading to a near-fatal accident in which he lost an eye. After recovering, Sawyer vowed to return to music and stay. In 1968, three former members of the Chocolate Papers, Ray Sawyer, guitarist George Cummings, and keyboard player Billy Francis, came together. Cummings had relocated to Union City, New Jersey, and invited the others to join him there, where Dr. Hook was formed. The lineup was completed by Union City native Dennis LoCorriere, who initially joined as a bass player but eventually took on lead vocals. The band, initially named Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, Tonic for the Soul, was inspired by Sawyer's eye patch and a reference to Captain Hook from the Peter Pan fairy tale. They began playing in New Jersey, initially with drummer Popeye Phillips, who had also been in the Chocolate Papers. Phillips left to become a session musician, and Joseph Olivier replaced him. During the recording of their first album, session player Jay David replaced Olivier and became a band member. In 1970, their demo tapes caught the attention of Ron Hafkin, musical director of the film, "Who is Harry Kellerman and why is he saying those terrible things about me?" Hafkin asked the band to record 2 songs for the film, including The Last Morning and Bunky and Lucille, which they performed in the movie. This exposure helped Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show secure their first recording contract with CBS Records. During a meeting with Clive Davis of CBS, David kept the beat using a wastebasket, and Francis danced on Davis's desk while Sawyer, LoCorriere, and Cummings played and sang. With the CBS deal, the band achieved international success over the next 12 years, with Hafkin as their manager and producer. Hafkin, with his talent for selecting songs, quickly became Dr. Hook's primary A&R man, producer, and manager. Acclaimed poet Shel Silverstein wrote all the tracks for their self-titled debut album Dr. Hook, released in 1972. The album featured lead vocals, guitar, bass, and harmonica by Dennis LoCorriere, along with singer Ray Sawyer, guitarist George Cummings, drummer Jay David, and keyboard player Billy Francis. This debut sold over 1 million copies, earning a gold disc from the RIAA on August 2, 1972. It has been released 20 times across the US, Canada, and Europe. The single Sylvia's Mother, initially a flop, became the band's first million seller and reached the top 5 in the summer of 1972 after additional promotion. Silverstein continued his collaboration with Dr. Hook by writing all the songs for their second album, Sloppy Seconds, which was released in the US, Australia, Europe, and Canada. This album featured some of their most iconic tracks, including Freaking at the Freakers Ball, and the cover of Rolling Stone, and was listed on the Billboard 200 in 1973. Sawyer was the lead vocalist on the band's breakthrough hit The Cover of the Rolling Stone, as well as many of their early songs. However, by the late 1970s, he transitioned to a backing vocalist role behind Dennis LoCorriere, occasionally playing other instruments. The million-selling song that humorously suggested that a musician had made it, if featured on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, peaked at number 6, with the band even ending up on the cover of the magazine in caricature, cementing the song as their signature number. In 1972, Dr. Hook expanded their lineup by adding full-time bassist Jance Garfat and guitarist Rick Elswood. Their next album, Belly Up, faced difficulty living up to the high expectations set by their previous successful LP, which was sold in the US, UK, Europe, and Canada. The band was as famous for their wild stage antics, ranging from surreal banter to impersonating their opening acts, as they were for their music. Their lack of attention to business matters, however, led to financial troubles. "If we were in the black when we finished a tour, we'd party into the red," said Locourier. This lifestyle eventually forced them to file for bankruptcy in 1974, although they continued to tour relentlessly. Over the years, the Medicine Show's lineup saw several changes, and in 1974, Dr. Hook recorded an album titled Fried Face, which was never released. In 1975, the band shortened its name to Dr. Hook and signed with Capitol Records, releasing the aptly titled album, Bankrupt. Unlike previous projects, this album featured original material written by the group. The hit from the project was a reworked version of Sam Cooke's Only 16, which revitalized their career, reaching number 6 on the US charts in 1976. Hafkin discovered A Little Bit More, a song by Bobby Gosh, which the band recorded and released, hitting number 11 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the UK singles chart, matching their earlier success with Sylvia's Mother. Following Bankrupt, the band released the album, A Little Bit More in 1976, which was certified double gold in Australia. This was quickly followed by the 1977 album Making Love and Music, featuring hits like Sharing the Night Together, When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman, and Sexy Eyes, all of which were certified million sellers. When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman also reached number 1 in the UK in 1979. Despite constant touring, the band struggled to translate their singles' success into album sales. Their 1978 album, Pleasure and Pain, became Dr. Hook's first gold album in the US. They switched labels to Casablanca Records in 1980 but couldn't replicate their earlier successes. In late 1980, they released Girls Can Get It, and had their final top 40 hit with Baby Makes Her Blue Jeans Talk, in 1982. In 1983, Sawyer left Dr. Hook to pursue a solo career, reportedly unhappy with the band's direction. The commercial success post-1975 involved compromises that some members found distasteful. Locourier remarked that the band felt like it had sold out, disliking their new sound, while Sawyer was frustrated with becoming a product with a patch and a hat. In 1985, Sawyer obtained a license to tour separately under the names, Ray Sawyer of Dr. Hook, or Dr. Hook featuring Ray Sawyer, briefly joined by Billy Francis in 2001. Meanwhile, Dr. Hook continued to tour for a couple more years, concluding with Dr. Hook's one and only farewell tour, in 1985, with Locourier as the sole frontman. Sawyer continued touring until 2015, when he suffered a serious accident on his way to a performance in Torquay. He tripped on a curb at a motorway service station near Swindon and broke his arm badly, requiring surgery. Later that year, due to declining health, he decided to retire. Personally, Ray Sawyer married Linda Lombardi in 1969, and they remained together until his passing in 2018. They had a son, Casey, who joined his father on the road as his drummer. Sawyer's music career spanned 56 years, starting with the release of his first single, Rockin' Satellite, in 1960 and culminating with his final live performance in October 2015. His musical legacy continues through his nephew, Zach Sawyer, who is the vocalist for the group Wildfire. On December 31, 2018, at age 81, Ray Sawyer passed away peacefully in his sleep following a brief illness. At the time of his death, he and Dennis Locourier were estranged. However, Locourier acknowledged their past friendship, stating, "It does not erase the fact that we were once close friends and shared an important time in both our lives." And there you have it. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and death of Ray Sawyer. His contributions to music and his unique persona continue to inspire fans worldwide. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth looks at the lives of legendary artists. Until next time, keep the music alive. Take care and bye for now.